You mentioned that you're 22 weeks along and going to a certified nurse midwife, but you want to find a new provider because you feel like they don't spend a lot of time with you and they're not as personable as you would have hoped. And I had a couple of thoughts when I read your question. The first is that how personable a provider is with a patient is very relative. Everyone, of course, has different personalities and bedside manner, and some will work better with certain people than others. But generally speaking, what a patient can keep in mind is that the less time a provider spends with you, typically speaking, the better things are going. So if a provider has to sit down and take a lot of time with a patient, it's usually because their situation is more complicated. And so if your nurse midwife seems to be in and out, that may not be a bad thing. As pregnancy progresses, usually what a woman can expect later on in pregnancy, like past 20 weeks gestation, is for the doctor to check the fundal height or the measurement of the belly, to check for fetal heart tones, look over the woman's weight, blood pressure, educate them on what to expect at that point in the pregnancy, and also ask the woman if she has any questions. This is an excellent time to come prepared with questions if you have them. Like if you think of something that's non-urgent in between appointments, write it down and come ready with those so that at the end of your visit, you can bring them up with your provider and they can spend some more time discussing the things that you've been thinking about. So if you don't feel like your questions are being answered by your certified nurse midwife, give them a chance by asking your questions at your prenatal visits and giving them a chance to respond to you. If you do decide to switch to a different provider, do it sooner rather than later and make sure that you don't skip any prenatal visits while in transition. Now, you also wanted to know if there are any certified nurse midwives in the Ogden, Utah area that accept your insurance, and I suggest starting with your insurance company. Contact them and get a list of providers in your area that accept your insurance, and then you can narrow it down by word of mouth, even visiting a few offices to find out if you like the environment and the staff. Keep in mind that if you want to actually meet the providers, they may assess you an office visit fee because it takes time out of the daily schedule. Good luck with everything, and if you have more questions in the future for me, feel free to ask them on our Facebook page at facebook.com/Intermountain Moms, and recommend us to your friends and family too.